Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including four-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Raul Falla.
And Raul Falla is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
Three-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a three-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare two laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Live from iRacing's Virtual Auto Club Speedway, welcome sim racing fans to round number 5 of the Apex Racing League Truck Series Season 1, live on Apex Racing TV. Happy that you're all able to join us on this beautiful Thursday afternoon, wherever you're tuning in around the world. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside with me in the commentary booth is my colleague, Austin Knight, with Samuli Kumo down in the virtual production trailer for us tonight. And Austin, it has been the story of Andrew Navarro when it comes to winning these races. 3 race wins out of the first 4 rounds. The only driver able to beat him was Norbert Leitner. But today, no Norbert Leitner in the field, but we have a new face at the top of the timing sheet.
Yeah, Norbert Leitner, nowhere near there, but it is the Andrew Navarro show. It's really been, yeah, the Andrew Navarro show from start to finish here, and the Bradley Wilson show, both of them working in together to give Andrew a lot of good opportunities in the last few races, and Norbert Leitner not going to be here, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be that way, but as he said, it's not looking that way here today as we look at the amateur standings. Kevin Kittleman sitting on top, just 6 points ahead of Kev Copeland with Shane Dunn in 3rd place, and they got a bit of a gap to Victor Lewandowski in 4th. But current standings right now in qualifying, well, no one's really set a lap, but yeah, it's going to be very, very fun and interesting to see who's going to be sitting on top of the timing sheets. Alessandro Daldone is driving backwards again.
Believe he did that in Martinsville as well. This is not a new thing for Alessandro Dalladone in the Kairos competition number 661. He's going to go ahead and complete a lap in reverse. I don't think it's going to count on the timing sheet, but we do have a handful of laps counting.
As long as he doesn't go off track, it will count. I know this. Alessandro has done this a while. Whoop, now it's not going to count.
Yeah, he's going to spin it down into the grass there, turn number 2. He made it all the way to turn number 2, which I'm rather impressed about.
Hey, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. Alessandro, I'm proud of that. It's not going to press the timing sheets or the sponsors, but you know what? It looked all right.
Talking about impressing the timing sheets. Andrew Navarro, top of the board for Lunatic Racing, 41.48. And he's going to spin it off turn 4. A hard hit into the outside wall. Austin, that is going to be a familiar story tonight. The driver's running right on the edge. Auto Club's a bit of a weird racetrack. It's very high speed, but that could lead to the cars getting a little bit upset, especially if they've trimmed these setups out to be maximum speed, as we see Tim Perry almost hit the wall off 4.
Yeah, turns 3 and 4, especially turn 4, it's flat and bumpy during there. Tim Perry increasing just by 100th of a second, though. And, you know, all it takes is just one bad bump, one bad bounce off one of those bumps in turn 4, and you can see what's happened right there. To the best in the series, the championship leader getting bumped out on his second lap. Car shoots up, hits the wall. And you do not want to see that if you're leading the race or if you're leading a pack, because that can lead to some crazy shenanigans happening. And, you know, one of these drivers might be able to steal pole away.
A great lap, or a great first lap from Sam Fitzpatrick, 41.59. Actually, that's the second lap out on the track, his fastest of the 2. He's up in 3rd. Andrew Roos, watch this newcomer. This is making his first start of the season here in the Apex Racing League Truck Series for wannabe sim racing team. The Hungarian is very quick. He was the only driver to best Andrew Navarro in practice. He drifts it coming off turn 4, able to keep it straight. He's going to take the green flag for his first qualifying lap this time by.
This truck is flying in practice. I was watching it, but I just couldn't take my eyes. Let's ride on forward here as he takes us for a lap around Auto Club Speedway. Goes down to that second groove to stand on that black line, not going all the way down to the apex because there's less camber down there, less banking at the bottom of the track than near the top of this track. And during this race, do not be surprised if that line goes up farther than the track to keep these tires alive for longer. But right now, they're pushing these trucks as much. Watch him grip that wheel, making some adjustments during there. Cuts it in turn 4. He's almost counter steering right there. The truck is so wild. Gets up to the wall, back all the way down to the apron, gets all the way down to the flat stuff, across the line. First lap for Andrew Roos, puts him into 12th place. Remember, he had that little bit of a bobble coming out of turn 4 the first time around. This time is looking absolutely on a flyer. Andrew Roos looking very good right here for this second lap.
And talking about practice, obviously a little bit different, and time's going to expire, unfortunately, here for Andrew Roos. I don't believe he's going to get another lap in. No, he won't. But the weather conditions here at the track temperature continuing to rise as we go through 1:15 p.m. sim time here in virtual California. And you can see it's a rather cool day, 65 degrees Fahrenheit in the air temperature, but take a look at that track temp, baking in the sun, 100 degrees. That is going to make it just even more skatey out there on the track for these drivers. Time to take a look at the starting grid as we get ready to go racing here for round number 5 of the Apex Racing League Truck Series. Out in front, Andrew Navarro for Lunatic Racing. A great time of a 41.482. He'll line up on pole to his outside. It will be Tim Perry. Sam Fitzpatrick, Norbert Leitner sharing that second row. Mark Redford, then the first AM driver, Victor Lewandowski. A great time for the number 27. He'll start in 6th with Bradley Wilson, Dan Parmalee, Mark Hutchinson, and Neil Butler rounding out the first 5 rows, with Dane Baird, another AM driver there, in 11th. Andrew Roos will sit in 12th, with Max Wolf in 13th, Janos Motos in 14th, Kevin Kittleman, another AM driver, in 15th, Jason Nethery, Shane Dunn, and Mark Tranter, all AM drivers as well, down through 18th. Alessandro Dalladone will sit to the inside of that 10th row in 19th. Alex Rogenbuck and Fernando Torres going to round out the 21 drivers taking to the grid here from Virtual Auto Club. And getting ready to go racing. Current points leader, Andrew Navarro, doesn't have too much points above Norbert Leitner. They only sit 7 points separating each of them. And as we get ready to roll off here, Austin, safe money would be a good bet on Andrew Navarro, but I wouldn't count out a bit of the drivers further back. You talk about Tim Perry, he's showing speed. You talk about Norbert Leitner, he's been the only one to beat Andrew Navarro this season. You talk about Sam Fitzpatrick, I think he could be the dark horse starting inside the top 5.
Yeah, Sam Fitzpatrick's best qualifying position of the year right here in Auto Club Speedway. I don't know if this is a track that he just particularly likes, or it's just something that just really fits his driving style. But Sam Fitzpatrick really loves his place in that 98 Ford Apex Racing Academy car, in that Evo SR orange car as well. But it's, you know, what decided Martinsville last time out was teamwork. And that's what Andrew Navarro has. Teamwork's not going to work the best here because, you know, on restarts, it's so easy to get a gain. There's so many lines to take. Not enough blocking is going to be happening. We're in for an action-packed race here. 100 degrees out here on track, 65 degrees in the air. It's time to crack open cold ones and enjoy a fantastic race here at Auto Club Motor Speedway.
Field gonna work their way off of turn number 4, 2 by 2, as we get ready to go green. The iRacing official pace car gonna make its way into the safety of the pit lane, and we're ready to go racing around the 2-mile cathedral of speed. That is the Auto Club Speedway. Andrew Navarro in control of the field. He's gonna hit the loud pedal, and let's go racing for round 5.
And away they are off. And you get to hear those engines are rolling already, and Leitner getting into the back of Perry, trying to push it back. Fitzpatrick on the bottom, trying to already squeeze Perry down low. But remember, that top line is where you want to be if you want to save tires. Sam Fitzpatrick gets off the throttle just a little bit, gets a little bit loose, getting Redford into the bumper. Perry gets ahead of Patrick, goes all the way down low to close off Sam right there. It's Navarro, Perry, Leitner on the outside. Fitzpatrick and Leitner side by side. But Leitner's gonna go around the outside and stay right there. Sam Fitzpatrick right in that paint all the way down low. We got cars. Oh, crash at the front. The 33 of Mark Hutchinson's around.
Hutchinson got turned in the middle of the pack off of one of the bumps. Janos Motos involved. Looks like a handful of others. Alex Rogenbach in the 70 with damage. And a handful of others. That's Jason Nethery gonna be swerving his way into the pit lane. There's 3 wide ahead of him, but it was completely separate incident. And he just lost it in the middle of the corner. And then there's the 36, nowhere to go. Comes right up into the 34. Jason Nethery, nowhere for him to go either. Motos involved in the 55. Looked like only about 4 trucks involved in this one off of turn number 4, but just such a tough situation. The 33 just lost it, nowhere for a lot of those drivers to go.
Yeah, it was completely on mark right there. And like I said at the start of this race, when in qualifying, that spot has a massive bump right there, and when you get it, it's just going to really throw you off your line and just get you in trouble. And he was in the middle of the pack, so that really jumbled up the race already, and we're going to have trucks already heading into pit lane. Alessandro Dalladone had a fantastic dodge though, but Dane Baird is heading in there. Alessandro Dalladone, he dodged it. He's going into the pits. Max Wolf heading into pits. Janos Motos, we saw him being affected. And, you know, looking at these cars right now, oh, it does look like Alessandro doesn't have any damage that I can see on the car. So I'm really confused about this, but, you know, he's there with his teammate of Dane. So Carrio's competition might have a little bit of teamwork already happening. You can see the new Carrio's competition paints right there. You know, they look all right.
And I believe a little bit of damage to that new paint scheme as well off of that incident from Dane Baird. So that would explain why he's in. Looks like Alessandro Dalladone wanting some 4 fresh Goodyear tires. He's going to exit the pit lane. Here comes Dane Baird out. Max Wolf out as well, who also came in. Janos Motos with an extended pit stop, trying to get some damage repaired before he gets back out onto the racetrack. 1 fast repair available, but they need to be smart about it so they don't use it too early, because they only have 1 available for the entire race. So they need to be careful on when they use that. Still Andrew Navarro out in front. Here was the fast driver in practice, Andrew Roos, the Hungarian for wannabe sim racing team, up 2 spots from where he started in 10th. And also, we only saw roughly about 3/4 of a lap there before the caution came out, but it looked like a bit of a challenge to pass. We saw a handful of drivers gain some spots, most notably Andrew Roos gaining 2, Kevin Kittleman was able to gain 4, Norbert Leitner able to gain 1, Bradley Wilson able to gain 2, but everybody else either lost 1 or stayed exactly where they were. It looked like everyone was just stacked up 2 lines on the bottom and on the top side. It looked to be a little bit tough to make passes unless they were willing to run that middle line, which we saw the 31 of Mark Redford do, but nobody else throughout the pack.
Yeah, this track is extremely tricky to really wrap your head around and get the passes going. The outside line is very powerful, but in the opening laps, the inside line is where you want to be, since, you know, everyone's not built up that momentum and they want to take the shortest amount of time. But on a hot track, on cold tires, that is a very difficult place where you want to be. So that middle line around that 3rd real groove where Shane Dunn is right now is really where you want to be throughout most of this race. But for like the first 5 laps, you're going to be seeing that 2nd groove really be the spot.
Well, field is back to 2x2, ready to go back to racing. Lights out in the official iRacing pace car. We'll be going green this time by Navarro and Perry still on the front row, unchanged from when we dropped the green flag originally. And we're getting ready to drop the green flag for the first restart of the night. Working off the first caution, going on to lap number 5. 61 to go here from Virtual Auto Club. 65 laps total on the docket for tonight. And down in the pit road goes the iRacing pace car. And back in control of the field, it's Andrew Navarro. He'll hit the gas and we'll go back to racing. One car going to step way out of line. The 31 going to step out of line. That's Mark Redford to the outside of the 98 of Sam Fitzpatrick. They'll stay 2x2. A poor start for Tim Perry. He's going to fall to 3rd, now 4th. Wilson goes to the bottom. He's going to look for a spot on Norbert Leitner as they go side by side for 2nd through turn 1 and 2.
Bradley Wilson getting all the way up to the bottom. Andrew Navarro going to the bottom as well to pick up draft of his teammate and help pull him ahead of Norbert Leitner and trying to make this a lunatic racing 1-2. But Norbert Leitner is right there on that outside line. He's going to pressure this as much as he can. He does not want this to be a lunatic 1-2 and clear ahead, because when they get ahead, you can see Bradley Wilson's car getting very loose, even with all the grip in the world on his rear spoiler. With that getting grip, it's not helping that truck stay planted, as Wilson and Navarro are still letting each other be drafted, and they're still trying to fight Leitner up top. Leitner is up there, but Navarro has given up the draft of his teammate, who is getting more loose on the bottom line. Leitner has momentum around the outside. Leitner's back up into 2nd, and Leitner's got company with him. It's Redford on the outside as well. That bottom line has started to become slow.
They still work 2x2. Tim Perry to the bottom. He was trying to get the spot over Bradley Wilson down the front straightaway, but now they come back down the front straightaway. Leitner goes to the bottom of Bradley Wilson off 4. They'll stay on that bottom line. Everybody's starting to train on the outside. Wilson gonna go down almost during the 19 of Leitner, but here they come back into turn number 1, still side by side. Perry all the way down on the bottom. Everybody else electing to run the middle. Wilson going all the way up to the outside line. They work off the corner. He's still gonna be to the outside of Leitner as the 19 tries to clear him for 2nd. Just barely not able to get there. Here comes the 31 of Redford, challenging for 3rd on Wilson as they go down into 3.
That is a textbook block that Norbert Leitner did. Get yourself to the bottom of the track and stay where the leader is. Force the other car to go up into the part of the track that hasn't been used yet right now. But now Wilson's down to the bottom of Leitner. Wilson coming across the nose of Redford. Wilson into the back of his teammate. Is he going to put the block on Leitner? Force Leitner up high. Navarro and Leitner still bumper to bumper, side by side for the lead. And there is Wilson getting in, well, almost getting into Leitner right there, but Leitner staying at the very top. The two teammates defending that bottom line like it's their home bread and butter. And Leitner is just trying to carry around the outside. Redford as well trying to carry it around them. And Tim Perry's at the bottom. It's a 5-car star formation right here as the fight for the lead between Navarro and Leitner is nose to tail. Leitner has the speed around the outside. He's currently classified as leader. Now he's classified as second place, and they're going to be jostling for position even more. And I love this track for this close, chaotic, multi-line racing.
Perry went back to the bottom trying to make something happen. He had to slide back up into line. Still side by side for the lead. It's Navarro and Leitner. The 31 of Redford on the outside of that second row. Bradley Wilson to his inside. Redford trying to roll that outside line, but both lanes looking fairly even. Here comes Perry back to the bottom of Wilson. They'll be 3 wide for that third spot once again. Navarro looking to get a bit of a side draft off of Norbert Leitner, but they're looking in the back. Around goes Lewandowski, and the caution flag comes back out.
Victor Lewandowski spins around right there. I am not sure who else he was in contact with, but there was a few other cars that were, well, involved in. Oh, that is just shot right up the track into, was that the 15? Oh. We see Mark Hutchison going off the track. Comes right out of the car that was involved. Yeah, that was the 15, I believe. Of Neil Butler, who was the one getting contacted by Victor Lewandowski. Let's get a replay on Gordon Neal so we can see what actually happened there.
Lewandowski was the one that went spinning down into the grass on the outside.
Lewandowski. Lewandowski tried just giving room to the cars to the bottom, went to the top of the track and completely didn't see Neil Butler right there and, well, sent Neil into the wall. Lewandowski spinning. Spotters. Gotta always have around and
picking up on the next race.
You know, we have all these drivers. Sometimes teams have spotters. Sometimes it's their friend who has spotters. Sometimes they rely on the old iRacing spotter or crew chief spotter, but just shows on how useful that position is.
So under the second caution of the night, lap number 11 of 65. Norbert Leitner in front at the moment of caution. He's going to lead the field down in the pit lane for the first time. One car stays out. Tim Perry for Boosted is going to stay out on the racetrack in the number 83. Any other takers? Shane Dunn looks like he's going to be a taker in the AM class, but everybody else into pit lane for service. Most of these drivers, except for 4, Dalladone, Wolf, Baird, and Nethery, all coming in for the first time in this race.
Yep, first pits for a lot of these drivers heading in there. 3 drivers pit. Oh, whoa.
He had to back up only for a moment, but he did miss his pit stop. Is he going to lose any positions off of this? You can see the Jack's up right side for everybody else. Jack's now go up for Navarro. There goes Leitner. He's going to barely get out, I believe, in third. Wilson might have beat him out. Maybe the 48 Roos also beat him out. He did. So Navarro's going to fall down into 4th out of the cars that pitted. Kittleman, Dunn, Perry stay out. Navarro's going to restart P7.
Yeah, Andrew Navarro, not the happiest with his pit box right there. You always got to practice your pit stops, and that's why. You don't want to overshoot your pits, and that's unfortunately what has happened right there.
That's going to push the number 42, Lunatic Racing's Andrew Navarro, down into P7 for the moment. We'll see if Perry, Dunn, and Kittleman elect to come into the pit lane under this yellow flag, or if they'll continue to stay out on the racetrack. As we work under the second caution, lap number 12 is 65. Looking like we'll go green roughly about lap number 14, and we'll be on the north end of roughly about 50 laps to go here from Virtual Auto Club. Round number 5 of the season as the lights go out on the official iRacing pace car. Field's going to go back to 2x2 as they enter back into turn number 1. We have put 4 races behind us. Daytona was the opening round with Andrew Navarro grabbing the win there. Then we went into round number 2 from Watkins Glen with another Andrew Navarro win. We go to Charlotte Motor Speedway, round number 3, then Martinsville in round number 4. Now right here, we're at round number 5 from Virtual Auto Club. 1 week from now, round 6 from the wild card race of the season, the dirt oval of Eldora Speedway. Kansas Speedway for round number 7, 2 weeks from now on September the 9th. And then we finish out the season September 16th with round 8 at the Phoenix Raceway. You do not want to miss the finale round of the season where we crown a champion. Getting ready to go back to green flag as the field works their way 2x2 off of turn number 3 and 4. Second restart of the night onto lap number 14. And they work off of turn number 4. Pace car going to pull back to the bottom. Shane Dunn up here in the front for the first time. Tim Perry, first time leading the way. And Dunn, the sole AM driver in the top 11 positions.
Oh, it's a bad start.
And the green flag is out. Terrible start for Shane Dunn. 3 cars going to go by him on the inside.
Very bad start. That bunched at the field. Norbert Leitner easily up into second place, and the 48s with him as well. And Bradley Wilson and Navarro nose tail of each other 4 wide through turn 1, just for a little split second. Navarro trying to get, well, I don't know where Navarro was actually looking to go right there. Looking to go all the way to the bottom of where Redford was right there.
Side by side, down the back straightaway. Good pass for Redford. He'll go up into 5th. Navarro trying to fight now from P6, able to get 1 spot from Dunn. Now the entire top 6 is going to be pro-class drivers. Loose off the corner again goes Bradley Wilson. They'll snake down the front straightaway. Deladone now looking to try and get around Shane Dunn for P7. But as they fan out down the front straightaway, Perry leads them into 1. Leitner going to look for the lead once again. They'll stay single file. Navarro to the inside of Redford, almost coming up to him in turn number 1. They exit turn 2, still side by side as they come down the back straightaway.
It was a fantastic move by Navarro. He's looking for more and more this time down the inside of Redford. Ruse, well, no, Ruse is on the, he's on the inside of Ruse, and Redford on the inside of the track. Navarro's pushing Ruse up the track, trying to force his way past. Almost gets collected by the bump. Navarro with the biggest block on Redford's ever seen.
That was Wilson with the block down to the bottom. There's still 3 wide as Wilson goes all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. Redford in the middle, Navarro on the outside. Perry looking to pull away from this entire group. The 48 running on the outside line. That's Andrew Roos up here for the first time. Wilson almost comes up into him, making contact down the back straightaway. It's Perry leading. It's Leitner in second. Redford now going to take over P4 as Wilson still tries to fight from the inside line.
Bradley Wilson has a nickname of G-Unit for a reason. He will bring it to you like a straight G-Unit at times. Very tight fight between them, and oh, Redford's in the wall.
Redford taps the wall off 4, change for the lead. Leitner's gonna take it. Roos now to the bottom. Perry starting to fall back. Redford falls all the way back to 9th. After that, Navarro makes contact with Perry. Perry gets set up into the outside wall in turn 1. The caution flag's out for the 3rd time, and the 2 fastest cars on the racetrack make contact into turn 1 at Auto Club.
Big implication right here. Andrew Navarro, Tim Perry making massive contact. Navarro's got damage, but Tim Perry has a lot of damage, and they were moving up through the field a lot during there. You get to see on how aggressive they were, but Tim Perry, oh, he is not happy about that, and bam. Well, it looks like Tim just drove into Andrew Navarro.
We've got another look at that replay. Navarro on the inside line, Perry outside, and you can see Navarro following his teammate Bradley Wilson. Wilson goes back to the bottom. The middle three wide now for Navarro, and it looked like Perry just could not judge quick enough where Navarro was going to go. Thought he had enough room to cover off the spot, and unfortunately he just didn't.
I don't think he knew that it was Navarro on his inside. It may have looked like it was still, he was thinking that Bradley Wilson was still all the way to the very bottom, because remember, Navarro made that 3 wide at the corner start, and Tim Perry just had nowhere to judge on how much actual space that he had going into that corner, which is still very unfortunate right there. And third caution of the night. And are we going to have a race to Martinsville cautions?
Because I wasn't expecting it when we took the green flag, to be honest, but I would not be shocked now. A couple of cars going to make their way into the pit lane. Navarro, again. Notably, Dalladone's in again. Redford's in. Perry is in, also because of that damage. Nobody else there, but Navarro pitting is a bit interesting, because he does have a bit of damage. Looks like he wants to get that fixed, but will he waste a fast repair on this damage? Does he think he might not end up in a wreck? Because you can see a little bit of damage to the front end of that truck, but other than that, completely clean on the 42.
Navarro's probably going to stay without the fast repair. Tim Perry, I am not sure. He's not going to go with the fast repair. He's going to take it like it is to see if he can keep it with him. And if another caution comes out, outside of Daladane, splash of fuel, gains a few spots right there. Navarro repairs his truck. Tim Perry, well, Tim's going to be waiting for a while, getting all that repaired. It's a pretty long caution lap, but he feels like that he can get that fixed up in a jiff. He pays those guys well. Neil Butler went into the pits. He still has some damage to be repaired after the first caution. Second caution.
Bit interesting, I think, to note, Austin. You mentioned the time under pacing on the laps here at Auto Club. It is a 2-mile speedway, so it's a very, very big racetrack. But iRacing, in one of the recent updates, a couple of updates ago, I should say, a couple of seasons ago, rather, they changed the way that speedway cautions worked if they're 2 miles or longer. So now, even if cars come into the pit lane, they're still on 2 to go. They'll take 1 to go this time. So that makes it even more limited time
Perry's out.
for Perry to get that damage repaired. He comes out, but he's not going to get a ton of it repaired, because now they're going to 1 to go, as of normally he might have 2 more laps to come into the pit lane, try and get some more repaired before green flag. They're going to go green next time by.
Yeah, Perry almost went a lap down right there as they were heading into the tri-oval. He was just getting as much as that was repaired required. And, that's what you got to do in these sorts of situations. Play the long game. If there's another caution, he's going to go back in there and just wait until he really needs that fast repair, which is a very smart thing to do. So he's got all optional repairs right here. None of it's required to repair. So if he feels like it's too much, he's just going to go out. Next caution, use that fast repair.
Seems like that's exactly what Tim Perry is thinking of doing. And when exactly will we see that next caution is going to be the big question. Will we see it soon, because these drivers have been racing rather aggressive, or will 3 cautions in a row start to calm things down? It'll be 45 laps to go when we take the green flag here in the 3rd restart of the night. Andrew Roos leading the field to green. Bradley Wilson to his outside. It's a pair of Norbert Leitner and Shane Dunn back up into P4 for the AM class. Sam Fitzpatrick rounding out that top 5. Navarro with that pit stop falls to P14. He's going to have to fight from the middle of the pack. Pace car going to pull back off into the pit lane, and we're ready to go back to racing. 45 to go from Virtual Auto Club, and we are back underway. Great start for Roos on the inside. Wilson going to try and get as much as he can, but Leitner's going to follow. One Evo SR car going way up to the outside. That's Mark Hutchinson as they dive back to 1.
Hutchinson had that spin early on. He really wants that redemption drive. Around the outside they go. Still around the outside. There's a 49 of Dunn on his inside. And here comes Sam Fitzpatrick. They're 3 wide on the back straight. 4-4. And look at that.
Hutchinson gonna go all the way to the inside apron in the back straightaway. They go back to 3, and it worked. He's up to P4, side by side behind with Dunn and Fitzpatrick.
What a crazy move to make sure that Fitzpatrick wasn't going to be there. It was really a hard mouth move, but all these drivers making it very, very clear that they're here to race. So they're nearing, well, almost 1/3 of the way into this race. As you can see, Alessandro Daldane with his teammate, 36, Dave Baird, nose tail. They got Redford and Navarro right behind them, and you can tell the difference that all these drivers are racing for right now. They got a little red on their banner. It is that they are a pro. They got a white on their banner. It's that they're an amateur driver, and you can see that they're all intertwined with each other here in this race.
On board with Navarro, you can see drivers moving around in front of him. That was Dalladone to the middle. He's going to give a push to Mark Redford. He's going to push Redford to the outside of Dane Baird. You can see the 36 on the inside. Dalladone going to go to cover off his teammate on that bottom line. Now stuck up on the outside, that's Dan Parmalee. Navarro going to go all the way bottom of 3 wide. Baird's going to come up into Parmalee. They go spinning over turn 2. Around goes the 71, and the caution flag is going to refly.
No, not Dan. Stuck on the outside, and it was looking like the complete innocent party right there. And you just hate to see that from Dan.
Take a little replay of the incident off of turn 2.
Oh,
like
Dane thought he was clear, got a little bit loose off the ace and got into Dan. And well, spin cycle has been engaged. Victor Lewandowski involved as well, but you know, I know we say it all the time, but I feel like this is all hashtag blame Dane.
I know we had Dane and Dan involved in that incident, but we haven't started hashtag blame Dan, and I don't think we're gonna start hashtag blame Dan anytime soon.
Hashtag blame Dan is not, it's all hashtag blame Dane. Thanks, Dane. And you know, if you're wondering about why the timing tower is also not looking the way it is, it's also Dane's fault as well. So, you know, just hashtag blame Dane, which is already happening in the chat.
Well, I guess we are hashtag blaming Dane for this caution flag. So we are under the 4th caution of the night, lap number 24. Wilson goes into the pit lane. Hutchinson gonna join him. Dalladone, Redford, Navarro, Baird, Kittleman, Tranter, Nethery, Rogenbuck all coming into the pit lane. Only a handful of drivers going to elect to stay out. One driver still staying out on the racetrack. I find a bit interesting. Austin Shane Dunn has not come into his pit box at all tonight for any sort of pit stop. He's still on the same tires he started with. We haven't run too many laps under the green flag. I don't think it's hurting him too much, but he is going to become a little bit behind the 8 ball when it comes to that fuel strategy if it comes into play.
Yeah, the fuel strategy is definitely something to look at, though. We aren't halfway through this race. I feel like Shane is at least waiting for halfway through this race to make that pit stop, but also Victor Lewandowski, who was involved in that hit, he's not heading into the pits. They feel like they don't have that much damage on their car.
Lewandowski, even with getting involved in that incident, he's going to restart in 5th.
Tim Perry, remember, they were repairing their truck for a while. They're not going into the pits, and we were saying that they need to go into their pits to fix that damage on their truck, but I feel like they want that track position more than a clean truck, even though that does not make sense in any way, shape, or form. But you know, I'm not these drivers, so they do whatever they want, and they're all faster than me, so that's why I'm up here.
Well, I think that's something interesting we can talk about, Austin, because normally we talk about speedway and super speedway racing. Aerodynamics is a huge part of it, and whether it's an intermediate track, whether it's a larger speedway 2 miles in length like this one here at Auto Club, aerodynamics becomes important. But if he has no aero damage to that truck, maybe just a bit of cosmetic, it's not affecting the handling, not affecting the top end speed, I don't think he sees a reason to come into the pit lane just to waste a fast repair. If he does get into a larger incident, that fast repair will come in handy. But if it's not affecting the performance of that truck, he has no reason to come into the pit lane, at least from his eyes.
Yeah, that could be the situation. And, you know, everyone's starting to line up side by side. Lights are on the pace car. One giant lap to go. And then we're back to green flag racing here at Auto Club for the Apex Racing League Truck Series.
40 laps to go here from virtual California. We'll go back to racing with 39 to go, as we will put 26 laps behind us and go on to lap number 27. Andrew Roos able to keep the lead off of that last restart. Norbert Leitner going to be to his outside once again. It's still the pair of Sam Fitzpatrick and Shane Dunn there on the second row. But you look a little bit further back, Neil Butler showing himself in the top 5 for the first time. Victor Lewandowski is going to start next to him. 2 by 2, they work their way through the final 2 corners here in California, and they'll work their way off of turn number 4. Pace car will make its way back down into the pit lane. Let's see how this restart is going to go for Andrew Roos. It was a good start last time, not the best start for his teammate on his outside, Norbert Leitner. It's a full front row of wannabe sim racing team trucks. Chevy Silverados at the front of the field, and we are ready to go back to racing. And we are green once again. It's another good start for Roos. Another okay start for Norbert Leitner at best. He'll go right into the inside line, right behind his teammate Andrew Roos. It'll be the both wannabe SRT drivers going down into turn number 1.
Oh, no, immediately!
He's going to spin Motos.
Motos getting turned around. Caution comes out. And Jonas Motos, well, newest driver, cannot believe what he's seeing today. Victor Lewandowski getting into his side. Might have been another car involved to that, but I don't think he's happy about that at all. I wouldn't be happy about that. 50 feet of racing happening here. Let's watch this restart from the eyes of Jonas Motos to see what exactly is happening. He's on the back of Lewandowski. Green Lewandowski kind of dog off that start. So around the outside comes Motos. And he just drives down there into Lewandowski. You know, Auto Club is so weird in its way, the way you drive it. Everyone's expecting to take that race line, driving it all the way down low. But they're getting into that part of the day where everyone's starting to take the track wide and staying in their groove. And, you know, for a few of these drivers who have not driven here a lot, Lewandowski had a car in his inside, and Motos didn't know that they were 4 wide. That was Wilson all the way down there. And so usually Lewandowski would have gone down there, but since it was a car there, he was staying in his lane, and Motos, well, didn't know that. And now everyone's back into the pit lane. Roos and Leitner and Dunn heads into the pits, as Sam Fitzpatrick is going to lead the lap here. Bradley Wilson, Mark Redford, and Alvaro heading into the pits. Followed by Motos. So that's a very similar incident that we've seen here today.
I think a bit of interesting pit strategy that we're seeing here, Austin, as well, because we have just constant cautions now. We're up to 5 cautions in roughly about 30 laps. You can do the math on the average laps under green that we have had, but looking at the pit strategy, it just seems to be cars just kind of flowing in and out of pit lane on alternating cautions. Some drivers electing to pit once, like Sam Fitzpatrick pitted on lap number 11, and he has not come in since. Neil Butler, Tim Perry, lap 18. Lewandowski's also lap number 11. Alessandro Dalladone, this is the first caution that he has not pitted. He stays out on the racetrack to assume P4. He last pitted on lap number 24, which was during the last caution. Majority of the field lap number 24, and then everybody else coming out lap number 28. So the drivers up front have all not pitted in 1 or 2 cautions. Then the drivers back from there either just came in on the last caution or came in 2 cautions ago.
Yeah, it's absolutely a weird strategy going on. I feel like some of these drivers are seeing on how far they can take the fuel with how much cautions left. They're looking at their average fuel left in their car, might have a timing system up like the SDK Live Timing HUD, which has a very, very accurate, probably the most accurate fuel left in the car, well, calculator. And, you know, they're probably just seeing how much they can go during all this and how much they can stretch it, because they are closing on halfway through. And now that they're close enough that a lot of drivers have head into there, they feel like they can already make it to the end of this race with that pit stop.
Field will go back to 2x2. We're going to go green with 35 laps to go. As Austin mentioned, reaching halfway done with the 5th round of the Apex Racing League Truck Series. Make sure you join us 1 week's time. If you thought this race was hectic here from Auto Club, you haven't seen anything yet, as we'll go racing from El Dorado Speedway for round number 6, a dirt oval with these NASCAR Camping World Truck Series trucks. Always is exciting. So watch that 1 week from now. Exact same time slot. Same thing 2 weeks from now. Kansas Speedway for the second to last round of the season. Our last intermediate on the calendar. Then we go to the season finale, September 16th at Phoenix Raceway. A mile-long short track to end out the season and crown our Pro and Am champions. To the inside of row number 1, it's Sam Fitzpatrick leading his first laps of the season. It's Neil Butler to his outside, up at the front of this field for the first time today. Row 2 sees Tim Perry joining the fight at the front of the field once again, with Alessandro Dalladone to his outside. Pace car back into the safety of pit lane on the front row. It's Fitzpatrick to the inside, Butler to the outside. We're back racing. A great start from Fitzpatrick. He'll come up, cover off the spot from Neil Butler. Side by side for that 3rd spot. Perry on the bottom. Dalladone on the outside. Perry gonna try and get a run down into 1. Dalladone's gonna door slam him as they enter the corner. Neil Butler gonna be stuck in the middle, 3 wide. They race off turn number 2. Butler now stuck on the outside as Dalladone's gonna settle for 4th. Perry's now gonna cover off the spot for 3rd.
Oh my goodness, Perry all around trying to get that spot. Pulls the cover on Alessandro Dalladone, but here comes Alessandro on his inside. That cover might have allowed Alessandro to get a little bit of drop. Now Alessandro is ahead of Tim Perry. Remember, Tim Perry still has that damage going all the way out to the wall, and all these drivers have taken that high part of the track. 3 wide back there. Dan Pomerleau on the outside of the track as well, as they're side by side back there.
Middle 3 wide, a good run up the middle for Andrew Roos. He's going to pass 1, 2, 3 cars, get up into P4. Butler going to fall to 5th. There's the number 71 at Dan Parmalee. Fast repair taken for the number 71. He's back up here fighting for a top 5 as he goes to the inside of Neil Butler for that 5th spot. Give it to Parmalee as he runs the bottom. Still 3 wide further behind as Max Wolf goes up the middle. Redford on the bottom trying to take that spot away. Side by side, 2 rows deep. They'll go single file back from the 11 at Kevin Kittleman as he tries to hold off Hutchinson down the front straightaway. Good run to the outside for Max Wolf, side by side with Mark Redford as they enter back into turn number 1. Parmalee going to cover off the spot from Butler, but he's not going to be able to do it for long. They're 3 wide for a moment as Butler goes up the middle. Redford to the bottom of all of them. Give top 5 to Mark Redford as he roars his way off a 2.
What a move by Redford, using that bottom line, pulling it and pushing it all the way he needed to go to get ahead and start leading that pack. So they're still 3 wide behind them. And look who is stuck all the way behind them as well. Down in 14th, Andrew Navarro, Norbert Leitner, all of them stuck behind him and unable to get up the field. They're stuck in this giant fight.
3 wide as they enter turn number 1. To the outside of all of them, it's Mark Hutchinson. Neil Butler continuing to fall down the order. He'll go now behind Kevin Kittleman, behind Mark Hutchinson, all the way down to P11. He's on the inside now of Bradley Wilson. You can see the 2 Lunatic Racing trucks trying to fight their way back up to the front. Wilson currently in 11th. Navarro currently in 14th. In the middle of both of them, Norbert Leitner, Andrew Navarro's championship rival, also in the back of this field as Sam Fitzpatrick is going to lead another lap onto lap number 35. 31 laps to go. It's Fitzpatrick, Roos, Dalladone, Perry, and Parmalee the top 5 as they go side by side. Hutchinson going to cover off the spot on Wilson, but they go back into 1. Wilson going to have to get that spot.
Yeah, you know, all these guys who are crowding around Neil Butler, they're on 10-lap newer tires. That's the advantage they have going on Neil, and Neil still has all that damage, which, no, Neil's not the one with the damage. No, Neil is the one with the damage. He's got a very scratched up truck, but he was still giving him a lot of headaches. And Sam Fitzpatrick has tires from lap 11, but they haven't been pushed at all because we've been under caution for a long time. 30 laps to go here at Auto Club, and it's a 1-2-3 Fitzpatrick, Ruse, Dalladone. Ruse with the newest tires on lap 28, Dalladone on lap 24 tires, and Fitzpatrick with lap 11, but they aren't pressuring him that much. They're just sitting behind him, letting the race come to them, and just letting the tires work themselves out on Sam Fitzpatrick and try to pull more of a gap. You do not want to be racing the guy leading this race, especially if you're pulling away such a gap to the cars behind that you're getting out of their draft bubble. And if they stay green, this is the spot where you really want to be.
Wilson gonna make another move down to the bottom line. He's gonna try and follow Kevin Kittleman down there. Indy Autosport red number 11 down on the bottom line. Wilson giving him a shove into the corner. Perry gonna look to the bottom of Dan Parmalee. Will he be able to complete that pass on the exit? It looks like there's speed on the bottom line when it comes to the entry of the corner, but on exit, that outside line able to prevail. Wilson gonna go back up to the outside line as Parmalee pulls away. Shane Dunn gonna pull away as well. They clear the pack. Dunn gonna go back to the inside. 3 wide up the middle is Tim Perry. Hutchinson looking to the bottom. Wilson on the outside as Perry's gonna continue to fall. Look for a spot on the outside line. Not gonna give it to him is Norbert Leitner in the 19.
Oh, this is so tight racing back here in the middle of the field. Dan Parmalee, oh man, he's having connection issues right there in the middle of the pack. It's sitting in 5th place, and that is not a place where you want to have connected problems. But all these guys on the faster tires have found the groove, they found the heat, and they found where they need to be, and they're starting to pull up through the field. You can see them hounding the car of, I believe, yeah, that's the 49 of Shane Dunn. One on the inside, one on the outside. And they found their space, and oh my goodness, Bradley, that was an aggressive move. Just sliding into the middle and diving down to the inside. Here comes Max Wolf on the inside of Shane Dunn, trying to block it and get an advantage on Bradley Wilson. It's like watching 2 different fights right here as they're racing down the freeway.
Fitzpatrick fell from the lead. He's down to P4 after Andrew Roos took the lead back. Alessandro Dalladone to 2nd place. Redford now to 3rd as Fitzpatrick will try and fight from 4th. But he has this entire group of Wilson, Parmalee, Wolf, Dunn, Leitner, Navarro, Kittleman, Hutchinson, Perry, and more all coming up his rear view mirror as they come off of turn number 4. They'll stay 2 by 2 for a bit here in this one pack as Fitzpatrick's going to come right on back to him. Roos feeling some pressure from Alessandro Dalladone at the front, but not nearly as much pressure as Dan Parmalee is feeling as the 18 of Wolf goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Wolf going to try and come up to cover the spot. Not going to work. Yes, it will. By inches, he's able to cover the spot, but Parmalee goes back to the inside to follow Bradley Wilson as Wilson tries to get around Fitzpatrick.
Beautiful move right there. Wilson and Fitzpatrick still battling side by side. Wilson on much newer tires than Fitzpatrick easily gets it onto his inside to Sam Fitzpatrick. Now definitely needs to go into the pits. Max Wolf is in the wall. Shane Dunn gets a little bit loose, hits Andrew Navarro. Everyone spreads out. We stay under 25 laps to go here at Auto Club.
What a save from Shane Dunn at high speed coming off of turn 4. 3 wide further back. Baird is going to be in the bottom of the racetrack there with motos behind, and everybody continuing to fight up here in this same group. Parmalee going to move to the inside of the 19 of Norbert Leitner. Leitner to the inside of Navarro. Navarro giving a huge shove to Fitzpatrick as they enter into turn number 3. Still side by side. They battle for that 5th spot. Fitzpatrick going to go all the way up to the wall. He scrapes it, continuing to scrape it off 4. He's going to lose a ton of positions now, falling outside the top 10 to P12. They still battle up front. Dan Parmalee has an issue. He's going to fall all the way to 13th just for a moment. Lost connection to the server. He'll pop back in P8.
Sam Fitzpatrick playing a little bit too much Tony Hawk's Pro Skater right there, grinding against the wall. He was struggling for grip as well, and everyone around him is just trying to find the best way to stay clear of everybody. Well, that is certainly one way, but not the best way in my mind. 24 laps to go. He definitely needs new pair of tires and maybe some fuel, but the caution has still not come out, and he desperately needs that caution if he wants to avoid going a lap down to get into the pits, as Andrew Ruse almost half a second to Dalladone, 1 second ahead of Redford, 2 seconds ahead of Wilson and the party.
And they continue to fight back there. 23 laps to go here from Virtual Auto Club. Dalladone going to look for the lead on Andrew Roos. Up at the front, they have started to spread out. You can give a spread out to the top 4 right now, as they all have roughly about a half a second or even more than that between each of them. Then you go back to this battle. Andrew Navarro able to clear a handful of drivers. He still has Norbert Leitner behind him. Then you go back to Mark Hutchinson. He's in a battle with Shane Dunn. You're looking off the top of Max Wolf, battling from P11 on Shane Dunn in front of him. Then Kevin Kittleman all the way down to the bottom, trying to go 3 wide. Dan Parmalee on the outside in P8. They go back to turn number 1. Everybody now in the field starting to spread out, as just separated by inches is Parmalee and Dunn as they exit the corner. Dunn's gonna have to give way. Parmalee up to P9.
Dunn has that damage, but he's still driving like he has got the best car on track. Dan Parmalee on the inside of the 11. The 11 Kittleman to the wall. Grip is at a premium here, and everybody is getting into their own lines, their own grooves to try to make these tires last as best as they can. And this is where Auto Club Racing takes so unique stance on super speedway racing. Sure, it's flat out most of the time, but in these corners, they just torture these tires to the absolute point. And you know, it doesn't sometimes provide for the best racing on track, which is kind of why we're going to that short track form of Auto Club in the upcoming years. But let me tell you, this is as a strategist view, this place is awesome.
Take a look, battle for P14 as Mark Tranter gonna go all the way to the bottom. Dane Baird gonna be the next to scrape the wall in turn 3. He rides it up on that outside line.
A lot of damage.
There's a lot of damage to that left side. He's not going to elect to come into the pit lane, but he'll fall to P18 now, having to regain that speed and momentum that he's been building up throughout the last couple of laps.
Yeah, if iRacing had tire rub simulations going on, that front right would be dead right now. The entire right side of his car, the front right, is caved into that wheel right now. And that is not what you want to have with 20 laps to go, as Dan Parmalee goes down to the inside of Shane Dunn for 8th place. Tries to hold it ahead of that Toyota. And a little switchback move from Shane. Here comes Shane on the inside. And Shane's got the momentum now.
Shane Dunn to the bottom. He's going to get a shove from Max Wolf down the front straightaway, looking to get around Dan Parmalee in the 71. These three have been battling for the last handful of laps, and a good shove from the 18 is going to send the 49 of Shane Dunn out into P number 8. And covering off the spot is going to be Max Wolf, but it looked like it was too late as they go down to the bottom of the racetrack. Max Wolf in the number 18, going to get a shove from Dan Parmalee. Parmalee going to look to the inside. These three trading positions back and forth because Shane Dunn just overdrove the exit at turn 2. Now having pressure from Dan Parmalee. Is the 18 going to overdrive turn 4? Not so much. He'll go down to the bottom to try and protect the spot.
Also, as we were talking about this, the fight for the lead is 3 cars. Mark Redford and Andrew Ruse are side by side for the lead of this race. And Alessandro Dalladone is close behind right now.
Dalladone falls to 3rd. Roos now in 2nd. Mark Redford gonna lead for the first time tonight, shoving him into turn number 3. It'll be 17 laps to go at the line. How long is Roos willing to buy his time, or is he gonna go for the lead here? 3 pro drivers battling for the lead at the front of the field, and here comes Bradley Wilson. Here comes Andrew Navarro. Here comes Norbert Leitner. We can see a 6-truck battle for the lead in a couple of laps.
Oh, butter me up like some bread, because this is going to get toasty here. In the top 4, everybody coming together with 17 laps to go. We are in for a barnstormer of a fight.
They race off turn number 2. Roos still going to be in second, but you can see Wilson starting to close the gap. Navarro as well. Leitner's there as well. Everybody starting to close on in. Dalladone is going to be the next one on the list for Wilson, as well as Navarro, as those two teammates going to try and work together to get up to the front of this field. Leitner going to follow them as well. They race past the start-finish line. 16 laps to go. Redford still in the lead. Last time by, the lap from Redford was faster than Roos, Dalladone, Wilson, everybody except for Navarro and Norbert Leitner. The back two trucks in these fields laying down the fastest lap times last time by.
Oh man, the things are just escalating so quickly now. Everybody putting in their fastest laps of the race. And it is just with 16 laps to go and everyone's so spread out. This is going to be a sprint to the line, if I can say so right now, between Redford and Roos. Dalladone falling away. 4-lap older tires than everyone around him. Navarro and Wilson slowly creeping up on Alessandro Dalladone. And we know on how Alessandro gets later on in these races. He will race you hard. He will race you clean. But that's Mr. Aggression late in the race at Daytona. Are we going to see Mr. Aggression defend for third place on Wilson and Navarro?
They race back into turn 3. You can see Navarro now all over the back bumper of his teammate Bradley Wilson. Wilson struggling to catch up to Alessandro Dalladone. We'll see the lap times this time by. They race down the front straightaway. Redford across the line. All 6 now going to cross the line. 14 laps to go. Last time by for Andrew Roos. Roughly about the same time for Redford. Wilson looks to the bottom. Dalladone going to cover the spot off. Wilson was quicker than Dalladone. Navarro was quicker than all of them as they race off 3.
Yeah, Navarro has the pace, but he's battling with his teammate now. As now here comes Andrew Navarro down to the inside of his teammate. Are they just going to let each other by? Navarro is fighting for that championship, and it looks like the team orders have came in to let Navarro by. And now Wilson is going to be a G unit right here and try to push Navarro ahead of Alessandro Dalladone with 13 laps to go. As Sam Fitzpatrick heads into the pit lane, I feel like that is because he's out of fuel. And so Tim Perry as well.
So Fitzpatrick pitted along with Tim Perry. They were 2 of the drivers who pitted around lap number 11. So that means Lewandowski's also going to need to come in. Don't worry about him. He's down in P20. Will we need to see Neil Butler pit? He pitted on lap 18. Everybody else at the front of this field pitted on either lap 28 or 24. Seems like they'd be good to the end, except for the drivers who pitted on lap 24. The only driver in this up in the front who has pitted on lap 24, Alessandro Dalladone. He might need to save a bit of fuel before he runs out. Navarro gonna take the spot. He's gonna try and cover off Wilson. A huge slide job from Bradley Wilson down the bottom of the racetrack. He'll take the spot over Dalladone, but the 61's
Here comes Alessandro. Alessandro's got the momentum. The slide job is very good on cutting out momentum, but here comes the Italian using that speed all the way down low to try to carry it through, but Wilson's got the draft. Alessandro unable to make it through there and make it count. As here comes Leitner up into 5th place. Dalladone now. Oh, I feel like he is trying to save fuel now and just stay within the car ahead draft and just try to crawl his way to the start-finish line once more with these 11 laps to go. Dave Baird is in the pits there. Neil Butler heading into the pits.
Drivers running out of fuel. Will anybody in this lead pack need to pit in the final 11 laps of this race?
It could be possible. It could be possible because since lap 28, I feel like some of these drivers are thinking another caution, they'll be golden. With 11 laps to go, no caution has came out. They've been on these tires and on, well, just going on this fuel tank for such a long time that I feel like they're starting to realize that they are running out of fuel and they might not make it to the end of this race. 10 laps to go. So the strategy is coming in. The fuel play is coming in. The throttle play is coming in. Who's it going to be in these front? Who was leading this race for most of the time? Andrew Roos is probably with the most aggressive on the throttle, and now look how he is behind Redford. He is not getting out of sight. He's not getting out of line. He is staying behind Redford, and he is just babying that throttle. He's going to try to play it smart and try to make that car survive. Lewandowski into the pits.
So quick math being done. I have no idea if this is correct or not, but it looked like 41 laps was roughly about the fuel window. That was the difference between Sam Fitzpatrick pitting on lap 11 and then pitting last time on lap number 52. So 41 laps, we are 3 wide. Leitner to the bottom. He's going to split Wilson on the middle. He's going to push Dalladone to the outside, sliding up the racetrack, inches in between these two trucks as they race down on the bottom. Wilson gonna slide up the racetrack. Dalladone is still there. They'll stay 3 wide as they race down the back straightaway. Leitner gonna have to give way. Dalladone not giving up on that outside. He's gonna stay up there. Wilson back to the bottom in the 51. They race side by side through turns 3 and 4. But as I was saying, 41 laps seems to be about the fuel window. The drivers who pitted on lap 28 have about 37 laps that they're going to need to make to the checkered flag. From there, if we look at Alessandro Dalladone pitting on lap 24, it's exactly 41 laps. If anybody needs to pit at the front, it's Alessandro Dalladone if he can't stretch this fuel tank.
He's really going to have to work this fuel tank like magic, but knowing Alessandro, he's going to fight it to the line no matter how much fuel is left in his tank. He does not want to go into the pit to lose all these valuable points in that championship he's in. And with 8 laps to go, soon to be 7 laps to go, our fight is with the fuel tanks. Our fight is with everything. The drivers out front, I do not believe, yeah, like you said, they do not need to pit. They've been on fuel for 38 laps at the line. And Dalladone will just be flirting with disaster. He might run out as he comes across. Oh no! This might be a caution. It's not a caution. Leitner and Wilson get into each other. Wilson gets slapped into the wall by Leitner.
That was a close incident down there in the corner. No caution called. But Wilson, huge damage to the right side of that race truck. He is undoubtedly going to need to maybe pull that truck into the pit lane.
That truck is wrecked.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage to that right side. Is it going to affect the performance? It looks like it already is. Cars going by him left and right. Here comes Perry now to go by. Wilson going to fall now to P10. No speed down the front straightaway. Battle back for the lead. 6 to go. Navarro running up against that outside wall. He's going to look for the spot. Second place on Andrew Roos. They race down the back straightaways. Navarro going to step out. Roos going to hold his line. So is Navarro as they race back to 3.
You know, Leitner and Wilson don't have the best blood in Martinsville. You saw Bradley Wilson blocking Leitner as he was trying to chase down Navarro. And, well, there was contact between them. Maybe that was this is probably just me being an absolute drama person and just trying to stir up some stuff. But, was that a bit of revenge?
It could have been. But because you talk about Wilson blocking Leitner. Leitner was blocking Wilson when they went down into that corner. We stay with the battle for the lead. No caution called off of that incident. 4 to go when they come across the start-finish line this time by. And Redford is loving the battle he's seeing in his mirror. Still pulling away from these drivers. A 7/10 of a lead for Mark Redford in the 31, trying to walk away with his first race win of the season. Andrew Navarro trying to keep his streak of wins alive. It is a 2-race win streak for Andrew Navarro. He's looking to keep it up as they race back to turn 1.
He's trying to go for that 3-peat, but look he's behind. Leitner's teammate, Andrew Roos, who is not going to make this easy on Andrew Navarro. As the two Andrews battling for second place. Navarro looking up for that inside. Here goes Roos pressuring him all the way down to the apron. He's going to force those tires to absolutely work for the money. Hold it around the outside. Get up all the way to the wall. Use some of that side draft to his advantage. He's just forcing Navarro to take all the worst lines. And that is smart driving, a smart defending right there by Andrew Roos. They're making that lead go all the way to a second. Roos loses that place to Navarro. Now he's looking for that switchback move all the way down low. They are battling like it's for the lead right now with 3 laps to go. 1.3 seconds to Redford. They do not care about the race lead. They are in their own little battle.
Roos running that bottom line. Navarro tried to make that outside line work. It did not. So Roos is going to keep that spot. Navarro still on the back bumper. Navarro needs to get by Roos now if he wants a chance to race Redford for the lead. He tried to cover off the spot. Navarro goes all the way to the apron, taking it to the grass. He comes back up off of the racetrack into one. They door slam once, going down into the first corner. Navarro going to cover the spot. Roos is going to go to the back bumper, lift those back tires off the ground, but he's not going to turn him. He's going to stay behind Navarro, and with 2 to go, it might be too late for Andrew Navarro to race for the win. It is a 2-second gap for the lead, as down to the inside goes Andrew Roos, the wannabe sim racing team number 48, looking for second place in his first race of the season. He door slams Navarro, falls in the wall. The 42 hits the wall in turn 4. The white flag is out. Redford leads by 2.2 seconds. Roos is going to take second, but Navarro heavily damaged. Fitzpatrick, the lapped machine in the number 98, trying to stay in front of Norbert Leitner, who's in 4th. Daladone, his next car that he can race, back in 5th, but out in front. What a race for Mark Redford. Takes the lead in the middle portion of this race, works his way past the lap machine, and as he roars into turn 3, Redford, the driver out of Warrington, 52 years of age, and the number 31 Toyota Tundra will work his way off of turn 4, and he becomes the 3rd unique winner of the season. Mark Redford, first-time winner in the Apex Racing League Truck Series at Auto Club.
What a fantastic race. Mark Redford showing these kids how it's done. 52 years old and still kicking around the track. He takes the win. Andrew Roos comes home in 2nd place. Andrew Navarro beats out Leitner after that big hit into the wall. I feel like there's going to be a few words said after that. He didn't lose a spot from that, but he's definitely not happy. Leitner in 4th place. Alessandro Daladani, we saw him cross the line backwards in 5th place. But, oh my goodness, Mark Redford, privateer driver, and he just made that truck dance here today. That Toyota Tundra Nest in the Woods machine looking absolutely fancy as he's going to park it on the front straight and burn it down here at Auto Club.
What a win for the 31 of Mark Redford. Like I mentioned, only the 3rd unique winner of the season. He beats out Andrew Navarro, beats out Norbert Leitner, and this is undoubtedly going to help Mark Redford in the point standings. He came in to this race nowhere near the top spot, on 29th in the points, and he is going to take home the win. What a run for Mark Redford in the 31 tonight.
It's seriously a fantastic run. We said a underdog was looking like the best part of this race, and neither of us were looking at Mark Redford. We were looking at Sam Fitzpatrick. We were looking around that area, but Mark Redford proved to be that underdog. Started 5th, played the strategy just right, went into the pits on lap 24, and went to the pits on lap 28 with everybody else, and came home out on top. What a race. He just knew how to work the traffic and didn't fight it when it came there, and he just let the race come to him.
Full race results here from round number 5 of the Apex Racing League Truck Series from the Virtual Auto Club Speedway. Mark Redford takes home the win behind the wheel of the number 31, with Andrew Roos coming home in 2nd for wannabe sim racing team. Navarro, even after that wall contact, falls to P3 at the line. Norbert Leitner finishes in 4th, exactly where he started at the beginning of the day. And Alessandro Daladone driving up from 19th, where he started the night, and finishes in 5th. Kevin Kittleman will come home in P6. He was your AM class winner today. First driver to finish in the AM class in 6th place. place overall. Max Wolf will finish 7th, Mark Hutchinson in 8th, Shane Dunn 9th, with Mark Tranter rounding out the top 10. Janos Motos will finish 11th, with Dan Parmling in 12th, Jason Nethery 13th, Bradley Wilson 14th, Alex Rogenbuck going to round out the top 15, with Sam Fitzpatrick ending up in 16th, Tim Perry 17th, Neil Butler 18th, Dane Baird 19th, Victor Lewandowski in 20th, and then Fernando Torres not starting the race ends up P21 as we take the checkered flag. What an exciting race it was tonight from Virtual Auto Club. And we begin the post-race show, Austin, ready to talk with Mark Redford, race winner here at Auto Club. I know this has got to feel good for him. First time winner in the Apex Racing League Truck Series for Mark Redford, and you're standing by with him now.
Yep, standing by with the race winner, Mark. How was that race, and how you feeling right now showing these kids how it's done?
Hi, Austin. Yeah, that was great fun, actually. I really enjoyed that race. I had a few issues early on, and there was far too many cautions on the first half of the race, but I just wanted to get to the point where I knew that I could get to the end on fuel and see how it went, and it went perfectly.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of the drivers out front were just kind of playing with the caution, saying, if I came in right now, would I make it to the end? You went in a lap 28, and it just seemed the perfect time to really go into the pits and work yourself up through the field. And it certainly was a race of two halves. The first half was kind of everyone getting teething issues here. The second half was just all out racing and just making sure these tires are working.
Yeah, that's the thing here. Because it's such a high speed circuit with a lot of turning, you gotta look after the right front a little bit. And it was great. I worked through the field, caught the leaders, passed the leaders, and then it was a bit of a battle with Andrew. He was close behind. I was thinking I'm not going to be able to drop him and he's going to get me before the end. But then the other Andrew came along and helped me out a bit by making a battle for second place, which left me to take the lead.
Well, you're the third different winner of of a race in the ARL Truck Series, and I gotta say, Auto Club is probably, in my mind, one of the crown jewel tracks of NASCAR racing. It's a lot difficult to race here and take a win here because there's so many different things you got to do, and it's a super speedway, so that's always on the list of accomplishments.
Yeah, thank you. It's a shame they're going to shorten the track somewhat because I like the 2-miler.
Yeah, so do I. But before we let you go and protest to NASCAR to keep this track and get ready for next race, anyone you want to thank?
I want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast, and Dane for putting the league together, and that's it really, and all the guys in the race for making the second half of the race good fun.
All right, thank you, Mark. You have yourself a great rest of your day. Over to Josh, who is standing by with Andrew Navarro.
Well, it was a good run from Andrew Navarro, P3 finishing here tonight. And Andrew, first of all, just talk about the car that you had the entire night, because you qualified on the pole, looked fairly consistent all night long, of course, until late in that race, but it looked like a good night behind the wheel of your Lunatic Racing number 42 Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, it was a good night. We had a little bit of damage from, I think it was like lap 11, I want to say. I got into Perry, I think, and knocked the toe out of it, and it was never driving the same. I didn't want to take the fast repair that early in the race, though. I wish I did, though. But just we struggled a lot in traffic. I think having to come back through the field did not help.
And of course, the contact made between yourself and Andrew Roos. Of course, we are not the officials that'll be calling any penalties if you wish to do that, but just how was that incident? How did that come about, and what are your thoughts on it?
I don't know if that was trying to come back at me for the front stretch. We got into each other on the front stretch because he didn't track up to the wall, and I still gave like 3 car lengths to the wall, but he was pinching me down, and we connected there. So I thought, maybe he's trying to get back at me, but then he ran into the back of me in turn 2. So I mean, I kind of knew it was coming, and should have backed out of it and just tried to cut under him, but yeah, definitely stinks.
And of course, we're going to be making our way over to Eldora, obviously the wild card of the season. Can you get back to victory lane at Eldora, or is that going to be an uphill battle for you and your team?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I've raced it like 3 times, so we'll find out.
Thank you very much for joining us here in the booth, Andrew, and congratulations on your 3rd place finish tonight. We'll see you in 1 week's time at Eldora.
Thank you.
Good to hear from Andrew Navarro. And as we close out our post-race show, we're going to get to talk with the AM class winner, P6 finish for Indy Autosports Reds, Kevin Kittleman, standing by with Austin Knight.
Kevin, how is that race? What part of that race really was it exciting for you? You seemed like you were always in the midst of it. Moved up the field, up 9 spots, and well, the opening part of that race, everything was happening around you.
Hey, it was unbelievable, actually. The race is only 65 laps long, but the amount of stuff that happened in this race was like too much for 65 laps, actually. Man, I had a ton of fun out there today. Also battling with Shane Dunn. And yeah, like you said, everything happened around me, and for some reason, maybe like 1% skill, 99% was pure luck that I didn't cut up in the wrecks there. But yeah, it was tons of fun for me.
It certainly seemed like tons of fun, and hey, sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's skill, sometimes it's a little combination of both, and sometimes it's just you close your eyes and somehow you made it through there. But the most important part, hey, you won the amateur race here today. How you feeling about that? That's more points for you in that championship.
I'm feeling really good. It makes me really happy. Like right now, I'm still smiling. It's just I'm a little bit sad. Kev Copeland from the EBSR team couldn't attend this race because I always love to battle against the championship contenders. But yeah, in the end, I'm still happy about this win, and I'm able to extend my lead a little bit. And yeah, hopefully next time I can compete against the contenders again.
Well, hey, points are points. It's never a bad thing to get more of them. Congrats on the win. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, the whole Indy Autosport team and the Lunatic Racing guys. Today, especially Trevor McManus, who was up there in the booth for me and gave me all the necessary infos. Because, yeah, like you said in the beginning, a lot of stuff happened, so he was having another look at things and helped me out. And I also want to congratulate my teammate Jason Nethery on the P2 finish, which makes it in the Autosport 1-2. And of course, some Racer Coin, Martin Sports, and yeah. And of course, to you guys for always putting up such a great show, and the commentary is always top notch. So I always enjoy rewatching the whole broadcast. So yeah, also shout out to you boys.
All right, thank you, and you have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Congrats on the AM win in 6th place. As well, that does it for our race here at Auto Club for the ARL Truck Series. What a fantastic race we had here, Josh. What are we looking forward to next week?
We're going to be at the Eldora Speedway, which is the first track that these trucks went to on dirt. Obviously, this year they went to the Knoxville Raceway. Cup Series went to the Bristol Dirt Track, and so did the Truck Series as well. So we haven't seen Eldora since last season, or since 2 seasons ago, I should say, in the real-life NASCAR Truck Series. But we saw dirt in iRacing's eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying iRacing series at Knoxville. So we know how these trucks work on dirt, and they're a bit like a mix of a late model and a dirt street stock. They're just heavy, a lot of power, and they love to just drift through the corners. Very hard to handle. So Austin, I think relatively it's going to be a bit of a wild card race like we've been mentioning. I think we're going to see more of what we saw tonight, a bit of a mystery going in, and a bit of a mystery winner. I think we're going to find out at the front of the field as well, because it's going to be who can tame the track the best as well with the changing track state.
Yeah, the treasure track state is going to be a big effect, but also seeing on how these drivers compare themselves to driving on ovals and then driving on dirt ovals. Car control, truck control is going to be all the rage here, and you know, we might see a face that doesn't really excel much on ovals, but can really throw the dirt around for next week. Josh, let's head home.
Well, we would first like to thank the sponsors that help put on every broadcast live on Apex Racing TV. And that, of course, starts with Virtual Racing School. They have over 50 plus data packs for both road and oval racing, as well as setups, track guides, weekly group coaching sessions, and more. And you can find out more information on Virtual Racing School over at virtualracingschool.com. We also like to thank Apex Racing Academy because they have over 29 data packs to improve your performance in the sim, as well as they have setups, track guides, weekly group coaching sessions, and more, and everything is integrated with Virtual Racing School. So for more pricing options and information on Apex Racing Academy, you can visit apexracingac.com. Finally, we would like to thank SDK Gaming. We use their overlay here for this broadcast and every broadcast on Apex Racing TV. They allow you to stream to Twitch with the most complete overlay on iRacing. You can add a virtual live HUD, timing towers, enhanced relative boxes, mini-maps, fuel calculators, and more. You can adjust your team's strategy on the fly with the most accurate live timing in iRacing. SDK Gaming also works as a broadcast overlay for your leagues and series, complete with synced cameras for commentary and production. For more information and pricing options, you can visit sdk-gaming.co.uk. Thank you for joining us here for round number 5 of the Apex Racing League Truck Series from Virtual Auto Club. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube and click the notification bell as well to get notified whenever we go live for another broadcast on Apex Racing TV. Also, make sure that you give us a follow anywhere you can find us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Apex Racing TV. For our producer down in the virtual production trailer, Samuli Kumo, for my colleague in the booth, Austin Knight, my name is Joshua Lee. We'll see you in 1 week's time from Virtual Eldora for round number 6 of the season. But for now, we are saying good night from Virtual Auto Club and round 5.